Hello, everyone, and welcome to Inspirational Journeys Through Life with Straight Talk with Nolan. I have a journey, you have a journey, but how many of us actually share our inspirational journeys to inspire others through life? Our journeys are really authentic, they're real, and we know that you will resonate with them. I'm your host, Nolan Pillay, and today I'm so privileged, so honored to introduce to you Bonnie S Hardie, all the way from Orlando, Florida. Now, if you guys have been following the news, you would know recently that Hurricane Eden ran amok in Florida and it left much more people homeless as well. And Bonnie is actually homeless. And we would be talking about that in a short bit. But for now, Bonnie is actually a mindset, a life, and a gratitude coach as well. She's also the owner of Rock Solid Mindset Life, gratitude coaching based in Central Florida. She's also a highly sought after international podcast guest. Therefore, she is on Straight Talk with Nolan today, right? Everyone's looking for Bonnie. Bonnie is also a contributing author in five Amazon best-selling books. She also has seminars. She's a workshop leader. She's also the creator of a program called Vision of Your Life. How many of you out there really think about visioning your life? If you are and you need help, please get in touch with Bonnie as well. And she combines what she does is she combines the vision board exercise together with the Wheel of Life coaching, which is absolutely amazing. I've done the Wheel of Life a few times as well, and I love it too much. Now, currently, Bonnie is actually homeless, like I mentioned. But here's the thing, folks. Here's the thing. She's homeless, but she's still going out of her way to help others who are less fortunate than her. How amazing is that? Absolutely wonderful, right? It's also on a part to empower women to say one voyage to the shackles in their mind that prevents them from living their life or the life of their dreams. And she also helps them to rediscover their joy and their passion. So, Bonnie, I'm so honored to have you on my show today. Thank you for joining. Thank you for making the time. Thank you for going out all of them just to get to an internet cafe to talk to us today. Yeah, great, bro.
Thank you, Nolan. It's a pleasure to be on with you today luckily from, long distance. South Africa to Florida is a very long way, but luckily due to the miracle of technology, we can speak to each other today. So happy Wednesday. Happy day to everybody watching, and I do appreciate you letting me be a guest on your podcast today.
Sure. Thank you so much, Bonnie. So, to the audience out there, like I mentioned, Bonnie is homeless. So I'm just going to allow Bonnie for a few minutes to just give us a bit more background about you, Bonnie. Where you come from, how you ended up in Orlando, Florida, as well. And what's the next steps with your life, basically?
Okay, well, for me, I'm not a native Floridian. I was born in Massachusetts. My dad was in the Air Force, and he was in the Vietnam War. So I was the only one of four children not born in Florida. So when I was about a year old, we moved over to Okinawa because he was in the Vietnam War over there. And then we moved to South Carolina for a little while, and then we moved to South Florida in 1969. So I've been in Florida since 1969. I've been in the Orlando area about 10 or 11 years. I do plan on next year traveling around in my own van that I live in and stuff. Possibly get a couple packs and stuff like that. Be a motivational, inspirational speaker, and um, whatever else you want to know about me. Just ask the questions, and I'm pretty much an open book for most things.
So, thank you for that. I think I just want to dive straight into, we had a conversation the other day, and you told me that you were sleeping on a bench, right, outside. Tell us some of your experiences on that as well. Because I know, humans can be really nasty at times. So I'm sure you've encountered some experiences like that as well. I want the audience to feel exactly what a homeless person goes through, what you actually went through.
Yes, well, yes, I am homeless right now. I have been homeless since February. I was in a hostile environment. I was just going to be getting worse. So I decided to just leave and take my chances. Unfortunately, I have been homeless twice before, so I kind of knew what it was like. Hopefully, the third time is a charm, and I won't be homeless much longer after this and never again. I am working very hard to be able to help enough people to make enough money to get permanent accommodations over my head, at least for a couple months until I get enough money to buy the van to go traveling around. And I sleep on a concrete bench at night. right next to a very busy intersection because I am pretty close to the happiest place on earth. And I make it work. It's not ideal. It's not something I enjoy, but for the circumstances that I'm in, I'm doing the best I can. I do have a blanket that I sleep on, and I have the sheet to put over me. And I have to carry all of my bags with me everywhere I go, which is about 40 pounds worth of stuff. Because I have to have, my laptop and my phone and stuff to plug everything in. I have to have clothes. I have to have toiletries. I have to have miscellaneous things. I have to have some food. Things like that. So I do have to carry all my stuff on, getting on and off buses, going in and out of places. But that makes me pretty strong. And I have a gym membership, so that's twofold on that. I use that for 2 reasons: one to work out, and one to get a shower. Or sometimes I just go in there and I just say hi to the machine and go straight to the shower. But I've also kind of worked on my own um, fitness program where I use my kettlebells, medicine balls, resistance bands, and stuff like that instead of always using just the regular part of the gym. So, I do sleep outside on a bench, and I get to my bench. I call it my bench, but I get to where I sleep at night generally about 11:30 or 12 o'clock p.m. And I get up at like 6:05 every morning, but I'm not sleeping the whole time. You can't really sleep when you're outside like that because you don't know what all the cars are going by constantly. I'm very close to a hospital, so there's always ambulances and fire trucks, sometimes police cars going down the road. And since you're outside, you don't want to totally go all the way to sleep. You need to sleep with one eye open and be aware of what's going on around you. I do have bushes nearby in case something happens in the middle of the night. I need to use the restroom. I try not to have to very often, but it's there for me, and I'm set up for that. So I do know a lot of other homeless people in the area, and I do try to make sure they're okay. Sprinklers come on several times a week. You never know what night they're going to come on, what time they're going to come on, how strong they're going to be. Sometimes I have to get up and move a little bit and then go back. So, but I reframe negatives into positives, and at least see the negative is sleeping outside at night.
Yeah.
But to change that to a positive, like, look, I'm getting fresh air every night. I get to see the moon and the stars, and I'm learning about astronomy. Sometimes I've looked up and I hear a sound in the air, and I look up and there's hot air balloons going over. So it's like, well, that's pretty cool on Saturday or Sunday morning. Birds come fly and sit next to me and stuff. And I get to like see a whole bunch of different cars go by. So I'm trying to learn to identify the different cars and stuff. So this is not something that I want. It's not something that I'm happy to be doing. However, I am making it work to the best of my abilities, and I am trying to get out of the situation. But sometimes it's like, don't judge homeless people because you don't know the whole story, why they became that way. So just, be nice and, offer somebody a bottle of water, a couple dollars, whatever you want to offer. Just say, hey, how are you doing? Are you okay? Just, show respect because, even though I am homeless, I am somebody's aunt, I am somebody's sister, I am somebody's daughter. So how would you want, your wife, your daughter, your kid to be treated? Treat others how you want to be treated.
Absolutely. Such a valid point as well. Down in South Africa as well, we have a lot of homeless people. And, the question I would ask to the listeners is, how many of them really go out to the homeless person and say, okay, here's a cup of coffee, or here's a sandwich, or something like that as well. We want people to open up their hearts and realize that people just don't become homeless because they want to. It's situations that actually happen. And if you look at Bonnie, for example, yes, she's been through a situation, but look at how bright and shiny she is. She's got such a different outlook on life, so positive about life. She's still helping other people as well. So Bonnie, I'm sure you've encountered people that were horrible towards you. Has you encountered anything like that?
Yes, usually at least like once a week or so, somebody like yells something outside of their car door, or they sometimes people have thrown stuff at me. I woke up one night and this guy was like sitting on the bench and he wanted to give me a hug. I'm like, no, get away. I'll start screaming. And it's not going to be pleasant. But I've also had people come over to me and say, hey, are you okay? Do you need anything? Last week I had a young couple. They brought me some hot chocolate and some pastries from the convenience store, and I had people say, here's a couple dollars. So, I don't expect anything from anybody. I don't ask anything from anybody. But if you offer stuff to me, I will take it. I'm not gonna come out and just say, hey, can I have this and that? But it's like, hey, if you offer, I definitely will take it. And sometimes people just say, hey, do you want me to buy you something to eat from over here, or what kind of drink do you want? So it's like I do appreciate anything that I get like that, and I really do like it. I mean, somebody gave me a bag yesterday that had some drinks in it, and some stuff for the restroom, and a couple of protein bars. So I was like, that was really nice. So that was my dinner last night: protein bar and a peach tea. So
Wow. Lovely. So we do have some really good people out there as well, right? So there's some people that are willing, wanting to help as well. This is, I think, what we want to do is just help to restore humanity and help people be better humans, right? You and I, we're learning every single day how to better ourselves and be our best self and our best self, always as well. So, Roland, I want to talk a little about Hurricane Eden. I know that could have been a bit more traumatic for you as well, right? Because that was like quite devastating to so many other people who were not homeless before, but now they're also homeless as well. How did that affect you?
yeah, Hurricane Ian came through, and it was worse than we thought. They weren't sure exactly where he was going to hit. And Orlando is in the middle of the state, so sometimes we just get the outer bands. But we thought it was going to hit all the way up to the northern part of the state. It did. It hit like basically right. It came right through the middle of the state, and it got pretty bad over here. And luckily, I was able to go someplace else for a couple of days. So where I was at, it was okay. But a lot of people lost their homes. A lot of people lost their cars. And people didn't have electricity and Wi-Fi for a few days, and they lost all their food. So it was really, really crazy. So it's starting to get a little better, but we're working on who needs more help now, because there already plenty of homeless people before, and now there's even more. So the resources already were kind of stretched thin, and now they're being stretched even thinner. And it's October, so we're getting closer to the holidays. So that's going to really, Thanksgiving is next month here in the United States. Christmas is in 2 months. And if you just lost everything, how are you going to bounce back from that? And it doesn't get too cold in Florida, but it does get cold enough. So one of the things I want to do is, help make sure the people that are outside have blankets, have socks, have hand warmers, have something like that, so they're going to stay warm for
Yeah,
the winter time.
absolutely. And you're right. The winters could be a little drastic as well. It's sad to know that the people have lost their homes, and we're now in Thanksgiving period. We're in kind of in festive period as well. So, the festive mood will be a little on a dull. But, when I hear you speak, although it's going to be a bit up and down, we're still so grateful for everything, that you have as well. So, uh, let's talk a little about your work, right? Everything you do. How do you manage doing it? Because now, as I understand, you're in a Starbucks, right? And grateful for that, right? To have internet access, etc. In today's day and age, with technology, you and I can speak across the world to each other. How do you go about doing your work in which?
Yeah, it's sometimes difficult being in a public place because there's distractions, there's noise in the background. If I'm outside, you have to listen to the cars going by and sirens and stuff. So sometimes trying to be able to do this is difficult. However, I do it to the best of my abilities, and I do let the people that interview me know that this is going on. Sometimes they can kind of fix the background noise. However, that's real life. A lot of people, they have a home office, but then you got dogs coming in, your kids are coming in, your spouse is coming in, your phone is ringing. There's always going to be something going on. But I'm saying to myself and saying to others, look, there's all these different things I'm doing when I'm homeless, and I'm not getting a lot of sleep. I'm not eating properly. I don't really feel well a lot of days because I have arthritis in my knees. But if I can do all of this stuff in my position, what kind of things do you think I could do when I have a permanent roof over my head, when I have privacy, when I sleep in a real bed, get a good night's sleep? So it's like, hey, I'm doing a lot already, but I could just totally explode and do way more when I get enough money to get a permanent, accommodations over my head, so I could just concentrate on stuff 110% and not have all these things. But luckily, I do have pretty good powers of concentration. Sometimes I get distracted, but usually I'm pretty good being able to concentrate on who I'm talking to, what I'm doing.
Really. So I'm going to call that your office, right? Because
Yes,
all are
it
working.
is my office. Right.
And if you think about it, so in South Africa, we have a situation at times where we have something called load shedding. So
Yeah.
the service provider turns off the power and we don't have internet access. So we have to run to
Yeah.
an internet cafe and bounce off their internet as well. So technology is really
Right.
powerful in that it helped me in that way. I would love to know more about your Vision for Life program as well, because I see you as a visionary. So I would love for the listeners and the audience to understand what this program is about. Okay, so Bonnie, I'm so intrigued about your Vision for Your Life program. Can you tell us a bit more about this program?
Sure. My Vision for Your Life program is what I do is I combine the Wheel of Life and the Vision Board. The Wheel of Life has 8 different categories on it: your home, your career, your family, your friends, things like that. And you grade them. And I do a little differently than most people because I give the grades, 20% and below, 20% and above, and then 20% or 80% and above, and 20% and 20% to 80%. So if you grade it 20% and below, we're going to color that in red. And if you grade it 80% and above, we're going to color code that green, and everything else is yellow. So we have one session where we go through all the questions and kind of dig deep on how you feel about everything. We color code it. The next session is doing a vision board. So everything on your wheel of life that is red or yellow, that's where we go and put on your vision board. Maybe you don't have a lot of fun. You don't have like a lot of vacation time, fun time. Well, maybe you want to go on a cruise eventually, maybe for Christmas. So what we'll do is, okay, for your vision board, maybe you want to go on Carnival Cruise Lines. Go on their website, print out a picture of one of their ships, print out a picture of someplace that they go, put that on your vision board. So every time you want to think about what you want to do with your life, you look at that like, hey, maybe Thanksgiving, maybe Christmas, I can be in this island for Christmas. Maybe you live in some place where it's really cold, it's going to be snowing, but now for Christmas, you go to a place, you go to the beach on Christmas Day.
Yeah.
So when you put these things on your vision board and you put words on there too, like career, health, things like that, this is going to get you to really start engaging and say, this is what I want for my life. You want to keep doing the same thing over and over again. Are you really happy with your life? I know things have been crazy in the whole world the last several years for circumstances out of our control. However, things are getting much better. What is it that you want to do with your life? Do you want a whole different career? Do you need different friends? You need to really kind of dig deep and think. And 2023 is 2.5 months away. So, what can I do to help you end 2022 on a high note and start 2023 on a high note, and just let's make a vision for your life, put everything on the vision board, and start doing what you want to do in 2023.
Wow, I love that. I'm very big on vision boards as well. I have one in my room, and you know what's the nice part is I'm changing it very often because as you manifest whatever you have on your vision, and it changes all the time as well. So well done on that. So apart from just the vision board and the wheel of life, once you have your vision, is there a certain kind of exercise like a meditation practice or so that you do with the students?
Yes, I actually have something called it's a 5x5 formula to a rock solid day. The name of my business is Rock Solid Mindset Life and Gratitude Coaching. So I like to use the rock solid. And if you start your day off strong, you're going to end your day off strong. Everybody's different. Some people don't like a routine. Some people just jump up and do what they want. But for me, my 5x5 formula for rock solid day, it's 5 different exercises to do in the morning when you first get up for 1 to 5 minutes each. Include meditation, journaling, practicing gratitude, deep breathing, and grounding yourself. Now, some of these you might want to do for a little bit longer some days, some for a little bit shorter. Sometimes with gratitude, what I tell people to do is name 5 to 10 things you're grateful for. If you do this for 1 week, 5 to 10 things you're grateful for, and you wake up, you cannot duplicate anything. After a week, you're going to have 25 to 50 things. Some people have said, hey, I'm grateful that when I went to work this morning, I got all the green lights. I'm grateful that when I went to the grocery store, I was able to park at the very front. my stuff I got real quickly, and there's nobody in line. I was in and out like 5 minutes.
Yeah.
So, it's little things like that. It's like you're always grateful that, you woke up, your family, your friends, your job, your this, your that, which is great. But there's other things to be grateful for. So it's like, it's always also knowing that things are eventually going to work out. I'm using my situation now as like a learning experience for myself and for others. Because I want to show people that, hey, even though I do sleep on a concrete bench, at least I'm not sleeping right on the floor, right on the ground. I'm above the ground, it's like 2 feet. So, at least I'm not totally on the ground and totally like laying in dirt or anything like that. Because I have bad knees, I can't get up and down very easily.
Yeah.
So it's just, little things that, meditation, sitting quietly and just kind of thinking about what it is you want your life to be. Because if you start your day and you're all crazy, like, oh my God, I got 600 things to do. I got, the kids need me, the spouse needs me, the boss is calling me, my friends, it's like, stop. Take a deep breath. Breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth. Just relax. Get your heart rate down, and then go back in. And usually that takes like 1 minute. And then you get back into where you need to be. Because if you start your day off crazy and running around, you're going to keep going, running around crazy. Makes your blood pressure go up. It makes your anxiety get higher. It makes your pulse get higher. So just calm down and relax, and then you're going to be okay.
So for the folks that are listening in today, from what I'm gathering is the more things you're grateful for will allow you to be less grateful for, or less ungrateful, in other words, right?
Right.
So if you're grateful for more things every single day, then the things you should be ungrateful for will drop and drop and drop till it's out of your life completely as well. So that's a proper attitude of gratitude as well. And I like that. Wake up in the morning, be grateful for a minimum of 5 things at least. I do practice that every morning and evening as well. And apart from that, I also journal it as well. And I'm sure you teach your students, your clients, or to journal as well.
Right.
So, well, I like what you said, Bonnie, though. In your current situation, you're still grateful that you can sleep a few meters or a meter above the ground. Wow. Some people that have a bed in their home, have a roof, they're really not grateful even for that bed. And
Right. Yeah, the mattress might be too hard or too lumpy or something, and
right.
it's yeah. I understand. You live in your house, you pay a lot of money for your house and everything, and if your bathroom's not perfect or your house isn't perfect, you have a right to, not be happy with everything. However, sometimes it's like, okay, switch this around a little bit. Your bathroom might not be perfect, but at least you have one. And at night, I have to use the bushes, so that's I have to make sure there's nobody coming so they don't see me or anything like that.
Exactly.
So at least try to put it around a little bit and say, hey, if something's going wrong with your house, fix it. See if you can fix it. But I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's kind of crazy because they're like, yeah, well, I paid a lot for this house, so I have a right to complain about every little thing, which is that's your prerogative. However, also think about the people that don't even have it. You have. How do you think? What kind of food do you think I eat being homeless? I can't cook anything. I can't refrigerate anything. I don't want to be buying chips and cookies and crackers. I can't. So I eat a lot of like peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, which luckily I can kind of crunchy peanut butter, plain peanut butter, or a couple different kinds of jellies, or what kind of bread do I want, so I can make it different ways. But it's like, I challenge people. Go out to your like your backyard on the one weekend. I'll make it easy for you. You can put a tent in your backyard. You can put a cot in there. But once you're out there, 48 hours, you have no Wi-Fi. You have no electricity. You better have a bucket out there and see how you are. See how much sleep you get when you're outside and hearing all these noises. It's camping is fun. I like to go camping, but if it's camping every single night, it's not as much fun anymore. And I don't even have a tent or anything like that. If I had a tent, I'd have to take it up, put it down, take it up, put it down, carry that around with me. So just being on the bus stop bench out in the open, but at least I'm getting fresh air every night. So look at it that way and stuff like that.
Absolutely. I don't know much about Florida, but is it dangerous? Are there people that will come and want to fight you or something?
It can be dangerous, or you never know, because sometimes there's a lot of hotels in this area, so they got like a lot of tourists, and some of them they're walking around in the middle of the night. They're excited to be on holiday and stuff. And also, like, we have a lot of woods around, and you have to think about snakes, possums, squirrels,
Wow.
raccoons, things like that. So you do have to be careful because there's like a lot of bodies of water. So usually you don't have to worry too much about alligators, but there are bodies of water with alligators in them. And squirrels aren't really that bad, but I see tons of squirrels every single day, and they can bite you, and they might be able to give you rabies or something. So you don't want to you don't want to be having a squirrel coming up to you because other people have been feeding him, and he's trying to take something out of your hand when you're trying to eat, and he bites you because I don't know if they've got anything. So you do have to be on hyper alert all the time. So it's hard to just sit and relax and just, be in the moment, be calm because I'm always looking around, see what's going on, who's walking by, the car's coming by, is somebody coming over to be rude to me, to be nice to me, you never know. So it's a combination of a lot of things. And, it's like, hey, you want to come spend a week with me in Florida, be homeless? Let's do that. Come over here, be with me for 1 week, and let's see what kind of attitude you have, how happy you are, and how if you want to help other people, what you even look like. Because sometimes I see homeless people. Luckily, since I have the gym membership, I go to the gym. Some people don't really have that option, so they're actually like I see them, putting hoses over themselves, trying to keep themselves clean. And that's really sad when people have to do that. But you want to think about, hey, you have the option to get in your shower. You have hot water. You have cold water, and the hose is just ice cold water. And if it's cold out and you're putting a hose on you, they're gonna freeze or something. You can't really do a very good shower like that. But hey, you do what you do with what you've got. That's for sure.
Yeah. Absolutely. So the message out there to the listeners is basically, be grateful for what you have. No matter what your situation or your circumstances at the moment, you got a roof over your head. Be grateful for that. You have clothes to cover your body.
Yeah.
Be grateful for that. You can have you got food in your home as well. Be grateful for that as well. I've been in a poverty situation. I've lived the poverty there, so I know what it's about. When you have to go to bed just drinking a glass of water, what it's supposed to sustain. No, I hear you. I know what you're talking about. So, sure. The other thing is, I picked up in your bio, you speak about shackles in their mind.
Right.
One voyage to the shackles in their mind, and especially you talk about empowering women. What do you
Right.
mean by shackles in their mind?
Right. Well, I'm 58 years old, and you got to think of like a lot of time when you were growing up, people might have said stuff to you. Maybe you talked to a lot of people like, "Oh, you're too loud," or "Oh, you're too this," "Oh, you're too that," and now it stays with you. And so now when you get older, you're afraid to say something because people will kind of look at you and say, "Oh, who is she to talk? Why is she so loud? She's so obnoxious and stuff." And everybody has different things going on, and I'm kind of thinking back about certain things that happened with me growing up and certain things that happened with friends growing up. And I had a really good childhood, so I have nothing to complain about that. But some people, they're like, oh, they'll want to do something, and their sibling would try to do the same thing. And it's like, well, let me have my spotlight. Why are you taking over my spotlight? Why are you saying, oh, you should have done this? Or sometimes, if you're like the younger kid in the family, you get all the hand-me-downs. So now you think in your mind that later on, I don't deserve to have nice clothes. I deserve to only go to the thrift store and get used clothes because that's all I've had growing up, which had nothing personal to do with you or your family. It was just the way it was. You have hand-me-down clothes, but that's like a shackle in your mind. And I like the Bon Voyage because my name is Bonnie. So that kind of, goes together. A lot of women my age in their 50s and 60s, maybe they're widow, maybe they're divorcee, their kids are grown up and moved on, still by themselves. It's like, well, what's left in there in my life? Is there anything to do? It's like, yes, there's a lot of things to do. You're retired. You can go on cruises all the time. You can spend time with your friends. I've got friends of mine that I've known since high school. My mom is still friends with her friends that they've known since high school. They've been friends forever, and they get together and still do a lot of things together. So
Wow.
it's not like you're going to just sit home and sleep all day or watch TV all day. There's still a lot of things to do, no matter how old you are. My great grandmother and great aunt both lived to be over 100, and they were still drinking a hot toddy every afternoon and just, playing cards every week and going to the hairdresser and stuff. And it's like, and I've seen people that are literally in their 20s and 30s want to sleep half the day. Then they want to go watch TV the rest of the day, mainly sports, and they complain that they're bored. It's like, I can only deal with people like that for so long. It's like, well, why are you acting like this? You don't want to do anything with your life? Yeah, granted, with COVID hit, some stuff was closed or whatever, but it's like, well, I just don't want to do anything for because I don't have to work. It's like, well, eventually you're going to have to go back to work. So, you can't really put on the resume that I've done nothing for 6 months to watch TV because it's not really going to get you a good job. So if stuff is going bad, try to figure out, I show people how to reframe negatives into positives, how to appreciate what they do have and not dwell on what they don't have. So if things are going bad, try to figure out how you can make it get better, and then when it does get better, say, hey, this is rock bottom. I don't want to go back there, but now I know when I'm going to rock solid, what that feels like to be a rock bottom. Definitely like that.
Absolutely. A lot of people come forward with like a very conditioned mindset, and you must be willing to want to unlearn all the bad habits and relearn new positive habits in order to move forward and progress in life.
Right.
Wow. So you mentioned your mom. So your mom is still around, right?
Yes, my mom is still around. I will not tell you how old she is because if she watches this, she'll kill me. I will say that we have 4 generations in our family, and my mother is a great grandmother to a beautiful 3-year-old Michelle. So my mom is still traveling around a lot, and she is very active. And sometimes I'm not even sure where she is. She has an RV with a boyfriend, and they travel around. So she might be on my birthday in August. She's all the way out in Texas. So she is still very lively and going, and will probably outlive me. I hope so.
I like that. She's still enjoying life and traveling with the RV as well, and the boyfriend as well. So what more
Right.
can you ask for, right? Just enjoy life, appreciate what you have. And what about siblings? Do you have any siblings?
I 2 older sisters, 1 younger brother. My oldest sister passed away about 6 years ago from cancer. So I'm right in the middle. One sister is 6 years older. My little brother is 6 years younger. And I have 2 nephews. One just turned 34, I believe, and he just has celebrated his 2nd wedding anniversary. So he and his wife and baby daughter. His daughter just turned 3. So it's a kind of a small family now. But we all live in the same state generally, and my sister and her husband are retired, so they have a vacation home in Tennessee, but they also have time that they're in Florida too.
Okay.
So everybody's sometimes kind of scattered around different places, but we all talk on a regular basis, and I hope to be able to see them at Thanksgiving or Christmas, depending on how things go. So it's like, hey, sometimes it's cool to have like a smaller family because I have people all over the place.
Yeah.
But everybody's still alive and kicking and doing really well. And I just spoke to my nephew a few days ago. He had his birthday, then a week later his wedding anniversary. So it's like he's doing really good, and everybody's doing great right now.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And I'm hoping that you guys do meet for Thanksgiving as well. I mean, if you're in the same state, why not, right? It's
Right.
on a kind of thing. And do you have kids of your own as well?
Nope, I don't have any kids. It's just me, so that does make it a little bit better with me being homeless because I'm not involving anybody else. It's just me, and I have the freedom to move around to different places depending on finances and stuff. But right now, for my situation, like I'm comfortable where I'm at. I know everybody where I go, so until I get the finances to move, that this is where I'm going to be. But I am looking into doing that, and I have places that I want to go. So, we'll see what happens with getting new clients for my programs and getting the finances together to move and start my life over again, basically.
Wow. I like that go-getter attitude, right? That's a visionary as well.
Right.
And I take in the business that you are in as well. You need to focus on yourself a lot when it comes to
Right.
personal development as well. How do you go about doing it? Do you manage while doing it?
What was the question again?
How do you manage doing your personal development? Are there any specific programs you're following, or it's a lot of
Yes, I have coaches and we work on business stuff. We work on mindset stuff. I watch a lot of inspirational YouTube videos. I have a YouTube channel, which I need to make more videos to put on there. I recently just started putting some little ebooks on lulu.com. So I'm growing myself, and I'm growing, trying to grow other people as I grow myself, and I see who's out there, who's in like the personal development space, and who's inspirational, and I see is there something from them I can kind of take for my own life personally, or I can take and help others. And one of my longtime friends, she has a saying called "Dream it, believe it, achieve it." If you can dream it and you can achieve it, if you believe it, then you can dream it, and we both can achieve it. So it's like, hey, if you have your dream, let us work together to achieve your dream. And you also have to think of your why. What is your why? Why are you wanting to do this? It's like, my why is, A, I don't want to be homeless anymore. I really want a roof over my head permanently. And I also want to inspire others and say, hey, what do you have to complain about? I mean, if somebody, honestly, if somebody is complaining about something, don't piss in their cornflakes and say, oh, your feelings are silly. Oh, you shouldn't feel like that. Oh, this or that. Because you don't know their whole story, why they're saying something like that.
Yeah.
So you do want to be respectful. And if people ask me respectfully, what's my story, what's going on, I'll explain stuff. I mean, there's some stuff that only a few people really know about. But for the most part, it's like, this is what happened. I am doing things. I'm not going to, justify myself to anybody about my actions. I'm not going to totally explain everything that I am doing to get out of this position. It's not a position that I want to be in. And I'm hoping that pretty soon I'll be able to make a really big announcement on Facebook saying, hey, look, I got this extended stay hotel to stay in for the next 3 months, so I'm good on that. But it's like, hey, I am doing a lot of things in the background to get better, and I've got stuff going on. Obviously, if I'm being interviewed right now, and I got other interviews coming up on podcasts, and I actually have a podcast guest coaching program where I can show you how to be interviewed on podcasts. Because if I can be interviewed on all these podcasts, being in my position, I can surely show you how to get your story out. Because now you have such a huge audience, so my story is going out to them, and people could reach out to me from that. People could reach out to you from knowing me. I've got other stuff going on, and it's like, hey, that's somebody that I want to get to know, because look at them.
Yeah.
So every time I do stuff like this, I get new friends and stuff like that. So that's really, really cool. I like that.
There's so many key points you mentioned in that conversation. One of it is like, you are doing something to get out of your current situation. I know of so many people that don't even make the attempt to use that word, that I am doing something about it. They basically would say like, okay, I'm homeless. I can't do anything about it. But here again, you turn it around and you say, you will do something about it as well. And just by you attempting to be on the podcast today and on other shows, so many other shows, it shows your initiative that you really want to do more with your life. And we encourage our listeners and the audience out there just to adopt the mentality that Bonnie has. She wants to make a difference to herself, although the situation is not the rosiest at the moment, but she's still helping other people. So we do the same as well. It's just as simple as that. Look at us, we're having an international conversation. And the other part that you mentioned in your YouTube video, and to the listeners, we will be sharing Bonnie's details. We'll be sharing the program at the end of this podcast. So please stay tuned to listen to that. It will be typed out as well. But one of the videos that attracted me even more to Bonnie was, she says, I'm homeless, not hopeless. So get that, audience. I am homeless, not hopeless. The moment you start adjusting your mindset to start thinking in this way, watch how your life start changing. So move away from the self-pity mindset or victim mindset. Do something about your life, because I always believe, Bonnie, that there's an abundance out there. It will happen at some point. For every down, for every uphill that we go through, there has to be a downhill. So for every positive, every negative, there has to be a positive. And that's so true, right? Because it really does that. Bonnie, I'm so grateful that we managed to connect with each other and get you on the show as well. So I know a lot of the audience are going to resonate, and they are going to reach out to you as well. It's such an amazing story. If you were to give the audience one key tip, one key message, what would it be?
Your current situation is not always your permanent situation. Even when it gets really bad, what's that saying? It's always darkest before the dawn. It's always like a rainbow after a thunderstorm. Even though this hurricane came through and tore a lot of things up, there were some houses that needed to be torn down, and now Hurricane Aid did it to you for free. So that's a good way to look at that. I feel totally seriously bad for everybody that lost their home and had to relocate. However, it helped in some instances, and some places thought that they were totally like hurricane proof, and they realized that they're not. So now they're knowing what they need to fix in case this happens again. And it could always be better, but it could always be worse, and other people have it worse than you. And it's not a case of, I have bad knees, I have osteoarthritis in my knees. I know friends that have artificial knees. I know friends that have lost their leg. So it's not a case of who has it worse. We don't have to sing outside by the campfire every night, hold hands and sing Kumbaya. But why don't you, at the end of the day, start thinking about everything that happened that day that was good? What was the good things that happened that day? Every night, write that down. And then you get to the end of the week and you might forget, oh yeah, somebody gave me a couple of dollars, or somebody opened the door for me, somebody bought me something here, I got all the green lights and stuff. And you're like, yeah, there was a lot of good things that happened. Yeah, you write down stuff that wasn't as good. But then if you keep seeing the same thing that happens that's not good, see what you can do to fix that.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you're going to be like, hey, a lot of good things really did happen to me, even if they're really small things. And then you pass it on to other people. You buy somebody a coffee at Starbucks, and then somebody will buy you a coffee at Starbucks. Somebody might, give you something through your buy me a coffee link and buy you a coffee to your bagel or something like that. So, it's all these little things you can do, and let's just start working on, small things to make everybody happier, and just, appreciate what you do have, don't dwell what you don't have, reframe your negatives into positives. You see somebody that's in a bad position, sometimes all they want to do is talk for a couple minutes. Just, let them know that you have a caring ear, and you want to listen, because sometimes you can say something to them and it's going to, like, something will click, and they go, oh yeah, I can totally change this. Things aren't as bad as I thought they were. That was a lot of stuff to get to, so I don't know which tip anybody's going to take, but
I think the profound message here that is your current situation is not your permanent situation.
Right.
It's so true in everything that we experience in life. There has to be change at some point, but you got to be the change as well, right? You must
Right.
be wanting to make change rather than sit back as well. So,
Right.
Bonnie, it's been such an honor to have you on today. So, I want to thank you for your time. I know with your program, one of your programs, how can the audience reach out to you for any of your programs?
Basically, just contact me on Facebook at facebook.com/Bonnie S Hardie, or send me an email it's bonniehardy@yahoo.com, BONNIEHARDIE@yahoo.com. Ask me about any of my programs that I have. If you want me to give you tips on being on a podcast, you want to just have a power hour call, we can talk about anything you want to talk about. I can help you with, your motivation, your life, your personal development. We can even talk about like time management, productivity. If you want to write a book, I'm working on writing a book. I actually have a friend of mine that I'm helping her with proofreading, copy editing for that. So I hold people accountable for things. So anything you want, just talk to me, and we'll see if we can work something out.
Thank you so much for that, Bonnie. Really, really appreciate it. I will be sharing all that information that Bonnie just mentioned at the end of this podcast as well. It will be on the link, it will be in the text. So, reach out to Bonnie. But if you want to get hold of Bonnie, immediately go onto Facebook and look for Bonnie S Hardie. Even if you look on my friends list, look for Bonnie and you'll find her on there as well. So, Bonnie, thank you once again for joining the show. I'm really grateful to all the listeners out there as well. Thank you for listening to Bonnie today. And we can get so much out from what Bonnie has just shared with us today. It's absolutely amazing. I've learned a lot. I was making a lot of notes as Bonnie was talking as well. And if anyone says, where did you learn this from? I'll say I learned it from Bonnie. And I learned it from her while she was homeless. Now she's not homeless anymore. And this is the thing, we can learn on a day-to-day basis. from no matter whoever is around the world. As long as you are willing to learn, wanting to learn, you can learn as well. So thanks again, guys, for listening to our show. Please share with your friends and family, or anyone who you think can benefit from this show as well. So always remember that people resonate with authentic stories. Funny stories, one of authenticity. I'm so grateful that I got it on today as well. And to connect with Straight Talk with Nolan, please follow us on social media. Just look for Straight Talk with Nolan as well. And I'd like to wish you best wishes on your journey. This is your host, Nolan Palisa of Straight Talk with Nolan, and we'll talk to you soon. Cheers, everyone.
Bye, everybody. Have a great day.